Hello and welcome to another edition of the Big O Show with Orestes. Destrade. Holiday edition. Look at our festive background we have there.
I love it.
How are you, partner?
I'm doing great, man. This holiday season, I can't complain. Enjoying.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy holidays. Merry
holidays.
Christmas.
Happy Kwanzaa. The whole thing is around the corner. Yeah, man. I'm just tranquil and tropical and enjoying some family visiting and you just went up to beautiful Nashville, Vegas.
Yeah, your old hometown, huh?
I love Nashville, man. I really do.
I got my daughter took me to East Nashville.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah, it's
Across the Cumberland. Yeah, really cool places over there. Not been to Nashville. Next time you go, or East Nashville.
Yeah, most people, because of the most pub is in West Nashville, West End. Yeah. But all of Nashville is a city. If you haven't visited, worth visiting. Great restaurant, by the way. Phenomenal.
Yes. Oh, God, yeah, we had some good food for sure. How are you, partner?
I'm doing good, man.
All right, let's go. Let's talk some baseball.
A lot of news out there. Obviously, we're fresh off the winter meetings last week, and the big signing for the Rays of Ketel Marte, and I think that was smart, clutch. He's a guy that's versatile. Obviously, they might be thinking of bringing him back to the starting rotation. He struggled the last couple of years before this one as a starter, and ended up becoming a reliever last year and had a phenomenal season. Just shy of over 3.0 ERA, and just seemed to command getting out there and having 50-something appearances. The Rays, now one thing that I will say, they have been masters of the retread.
Yes.
They have been masters of taking a guy that maybe struggled somewhere else, and they bring them into the fold, and they have great success with those type of kind of guys that have been around a little bit, but haven't put it all the way together. He did put it together early on in this, when he was a young stud with the Mets. But it's been pretty mediocre after that. But we'll see how they use him. The good thing about him is that they know they could have duality with him. Maybe if he struggles, and you have plenty of starting pitching, because you could never have enough starting pitching, then you kind of slide him into a role that that he's already shown that he's capable of, which is maybe long relief.
Well, also he maybe an insurance policy for Shane McClanahan from the left side. If Shane, if Shane goes and he can pitch 200 innings, 150 innings, then maybe this is more of a bullpen piece and a key bullpen piece from the left side. If Shane somehow breaks down again, now he can be a starter. So it gives you a little bit of flexibility there.
Well, and also you could, do a situation where you use them in a opener type situation, maybe, or vice versa. You go Shane for like 3 innings and you kind of control his output early on, and then you bring a guy that can come in and pitch 4 innings. You know what I mean? And you kind of combine the two that way, possibly. There's a lot of different. The thing about Mats is that he's already shown that that he's versatile. When he dominated the bullpen scenario, that's an attractive guy now, because now that you got somebody that you could have duality with.
Yeah, and we need some left-handed pitching, especially some very consistent, effective left-handed pitching. We got some live arms in the bullpen, but for the most part, we need a lefty.
We didn't really have. Ian Seymour, I'm counting on to take the next step. He's shown some really good promise. That's the other left-hander that's more of a softer thrower, but I think anytime. Listen, the quickest way to get to the major leagues is as a left-hander or as a catcher.
Yeah.
So there's just not a good catcher defensively that can hit a little bit, and a lefty that can throw a bit. Those guys always are in demand.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, some other things that happened since the last time we chatted was this whole Pete Alonso thing.
Yeah.
So the Polar Bear, pride of Plant High School here in Tampa.
Yeah.
Signing within the division.
The division is getting crazy. There's a lot of signings that we're going to touch on today about, all
the Orioles.
The Orioles have been aggressive. Toronto continues to be aggressive with the Tyler Rogers signing, but Pete Alonso is a big signing, and he said some great positive words and tones as far as visiting Baltimore and feeling comfortable with that signing. Obviously, $155 million will make you feel
that'll make you comfy
anywhere.
Yeah.
5-year deal. But I think it's deserved. I mean, I've always been a fan of Pete, not just because he's a local guy and a guy that also gives back in the community quite a bit.
Yep.
Does a lot of great things. He's a Plant High, grad, but he's a thumper, man. And he went out and he kind of put his bat, out there and said, I can still, I'm one of the top 5-10, run producers in the game. So Baltimore got themselves a clutch guy, and they needed it. They needed, to replace some of the power that they have lost. So the reality is that the funny thing is that his agent, Scott Boras, the legendary Scott Boras, while at the winter meetings, was saying some really interesting things, trying to see if the Rays would bite, as far as like, you know what, the polar bear would do really nice, even though it's warmer for a polar bear over here in Florida, he's ready to kind of, do his thing. So I'm paraphrasing, but he was, trying to see if maybe there was one last ditch effort that could happen. But realistically, that's just too hefty of a contract right now. We all expect and hope that in the coming years, by 29 or 30, we're going to see those type of contracts being, given out to certain players.
Let's hope so.
Free agents wise.
Yeah, let's hope so. But I don't think the Rays are done by any stretch of the imagination.
Oh, no.
In fact, Eric Neander said as much at the winter meetings, like, this is not the roster we're taking to opening day, obviously. And by the way, programming note, Eric Neander will be appearing at the Sports Club of Tampa Bay, of which I am on the board, on Wednesday, his annual chat to the local sports club. So that could be very interesting and newsworthy.
I think it'll be
many ways,
and very positive, because I think there's a positivity still building. I mean,
absolutely.
They're making moves and they're doing things that I think on the trend upwards. It's not trending flatline and definitely not trending downwards. So, the additions of a Cedric Mullins, the different additions of Matt, Fraley, they're trying to make the moves. Now, is this the final roster? I don't think so. Is there a lot of rumor mill as far as potential still free agent signings? I'm going to tell you one that I think is going to happen, and I really believe that it'll culminate. And that is we've talked about it on the show here, is JT Realmuto. I really think that's a real possibility. Why? It makes a total heck of sense, man. I think if you can get a true veteran leadership, multi all-star who, struggled last year a little bit offensive. First time in his career that he's really kind of struggled offensively. He's 34 years old, but by the way, still has like a 1.9 pop time. That's when from the moment that he catches the ball and gets it to second base and he catches it, one of the top 10%, 5% top pop times in all of catching at the MLB level. A veteran as far as leading a pitching staff. That guy, to me, that's the whatever it might take, and it's not going to be the crazy amounts that he was making in his $130 million contract he's coming off of. It's going to be 12 to 15.
Yeah.
And manageable.
Yeah.
And I think the
good fit for the Rays.
ROI is phenomenal. And that's one that I'd be intrigued to see and hoping that will happen, because that solidifies that for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Barring injury from JT, he'll be your catcher for the next couple of years. And you kind of, you wean in the AAA kid that you have, the name escapes me right now, but they got a kid that they're the
one they protected on the 40 man.
The one they protected.
Yeah. What is his name?
Yeah. I think it's with a W. And that's the guy that you kind of start building around, and and
Dominic Keegan.
Keegan was the kid, yeah. Dominic Keegan. That's the your future catcher that you give him a little taste maybe this coming year. Maybe he's the backup in 27, and all of a sudden he takes over after that. I only need JT for a couple of years, but JT can win you a lot of games, excuse me, and can win you a championship. I'll be honest with you, with a guy of that magnitude. I still think he's serviceable. A lot of people talk about, oh, he's in the lower ranks of framing. They can work on that a little bit. And, and the framing is not as big a deal for me as
well, especially when we go to robotic umpires.
Robotic umpires, it's not going to matter. And framing is not as big a deal as being able to throw out runners. For me, a catcher is about calling games, having the attention of your pitching staff, right? Making sure that when he talks, the pitching staff listens because they're looking at a veteran. And I'm telling you, trust me on this. And we're going to go this way. And talking to Kyle Snyder, your pitching coach, and the strategies, to Kevin Cash, former catcher, now you have this really good synergy. And that's what's important to me. And then if he can give you that 250, 260 with some pop, man, that's a signing that I think the Rays dramatically need to make.
Yeah, it makes such a big deal in the clubhouse as well, where they need to be better. Hey, Michael LaRue says, as we're going to get to Ketel Marte anyway, Marte is really good ball player, but I don't like the idea of giving up young, controllable starting pitching, especially Boz and Pepio, for a 32-year-old bat who comes with a 6-year, $100 million contract.
Right.
Obviously, listen, Marte has been fantastic. I think he was third in the All-Star or All MVP voting 2 years ago.
Yeah, he had 36 home runs. He's still at 27, 28 home runs this past year.
Yeah, 28 home runs, 72 RBIs, 4.4 WAR. He had MVP votes in that one as well last year. So won a Silver Slugger, All-Star. He's a player, dog.
He's a player. He's I would say more well-rounded than Brandon Lau is right now at this state. Mm-hmm. Brandon Lau is still a really good player at 31 years old who showed his wares this year. But Brandon Lau is going to be a free agent after this year, so he's valuable trade potential, right? So you're kind of trading a star for another star, but a guy that's kind of a little bit more dynamic. You add speed to the mix that Brandon can't keep up with a Ketel Marte as far as stealing bases, going first to third, scoring from second. Those type of dynamics. And then one other major thing, if you're going to be paying tens of millions of dollars to a player, you want to make sure that they can stay healthy and on the field more times than not.
Right.
And Ketel Marte has shown that at a greater propensity than Brandon Lau. Again, no disrespect to Brandon. I'd love to keep him.
Right.
But are you sure that you're going to get 140 games from Brandon Lau next year?
Yeah, the last 4 years, 137 games, 150, 136, 126 for Marte.
Yeah.
So every year when he plays a full season, his WAR is in the 4.9, 6.8, 4.4.
Yeah, I think he had a little Nicky injury this past year that kept him out of some games. But just an impressive player.
Would you give up Pepio and Boz for him?
I would give up Pepio and Boz if you have. Again, listen, this is the catch with this trade. From my understanding, Arizona is not desirable of Brandon Lau, so he's not in that mix. So what happens if you pull the trigger on that trade, then goodness, you're sitting at a situation where you've kind of devalued Brandon Lau a little bit because everybody's sitting there going, well, you have to trade him.
You have to trade him.
So I'm not going to give you that extra superstar AA player that I've got that you've been, jonesing for. I'm only going to give you these other couple of guys. So it has to either be a three-way trade or it has to be a duality of, consecutive trades that have to happen. Boom, boom. So then that, okay, I've got the Brandon Lau trade. I've got this one. Let's pull the trigger. Because otherwise you're kind of setting yourself up for devaluing Brandon Lau. As far as the two young pitchers, I really like Shane Boz, man. He's got such an electric arm that I feel like he's kind of that one of those type of arms that once he puts it all together one year,
he's going to be dominant.
This kid's going to be 17-7 with a 2.9, and you're going to be like, oh, wow, goodness. But he hasn't, right? And if you can cover, so a lot of ifs here.
Mm-hmm.
If Steven Matz can go back to being a formidable starter, if Shane McClanahan comes back at a 90 to 100% clip, how quick can that happen?
Can Joe Boyle be a consistent starter?
Boyle, who has probably arguably a better arm than Shane Boz, can he, do his thing? You know what I mean? And then who are you going to add to fill? Is it going to be one of the two Zachs? Is it, Zach Eflin, Zach Littell? I still say that, if something like that were to happen, then a kind of a quiet, maybe Japanese signing of a Kona Takahashi could be in play, because he was a guy that could, eat up innings as a fourth or fifth starter, maybe even do a little long relief. You got to get creative, and, because you're not going to be going after Michael King, for example,
right,
who's a big boy free agent out there, Reyes, Suarez. So it's a dicey move, but I'm not opposed to it. Losing Ryan, he was your most consistent pitcher last year, as far as innings eater.
Yeah.
Your best all around pitcher was Drew Rasmussen, but he didn't pitch as many innings, right? So now Drew becomes the guy that should step up. Now he's
losing Pepio is a real big hole.
It's a hole, because that's the hole that Drew has to take over now. He's got to match. He's got to match the innings eating that Ryan Pepio did. Capable.
Yeah.
My goodness. Drew Rasmussen is a beast. He's an all-star caliber pitcher.
Three arm
surgeries, but he's been removed now for a couple of years from any issues. So now you have to kind of push your chips in with him, possibly. You make that deal, you're pushing your chips in that Drew's ready to go after 175 innings.
Yeah.
Right? 175 innings could give you 15, 16
And you got to feel pretty good about Shane coming back.
And you got to feel really good about Shane coming back.
All right, so what does Marte add to the mix? And he adds power, speed, defense.
Defense arguably better than Brandon.
Yeah.
Brandon's solid, but Brandon's not in the upper echelon of the defensive second baseman. So you add power, speed. They're about the same age, but different makeup physically. So, I just think that he's just a more tooled player.
Yeah.
As far as that excitement, and you could stick him. I mean, Ketel Marte, the reason that this is a valuable signing or trade, how many times have been on the show now in the last few weeks since the season ended? What has been the most common thing that I've been talking about that is of need?
Right-handed bat.
A right-handed
power bat. Right.
So that solidifies that. Now you add that right-handed power bat.
He's a switch hitter, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, now when you get a tough lefty, you've got that right-handed power that so it's a situation where you're getting a hitter that fits some of the dynamic that when you get a tough lefty and you're lefty heavy,
right,
including Brandon Lau, you've erased that. You know what I mean? So I just think that's a key cog in this whole thing of trying to make your lineup. You could stick that guy right behind Junior Caminero, and he can protect Junior Caminero.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Somebody will look. Remember, we did the thing about
absolutely.
You look what's over there. Now you're saying, "Dang, it's Ketel Marte."
And if you can add a power hitting outfielder too, now you're really stacking.
But I'm not as concerned if you add
Marte.
I'm not as concerned. Now you don't have to. You can do the Ryan Velade. You can mix and match with Fraley. You
could have Chandler Simpson still in the league.
Simpson still,
Gandhi into 2-hole,
moving around.
Junior into 3-hole,
moving around. Left field quite a bit. You're going to be in and out with certain guys at left field. It's going to be you're going to still have to get rid of somebody, because if you're giving Cedric Mullin the keys to center field, then you're expecting him to play 140 games.
Yeah.
Right. He's young, athletic enough to do that. Right. So, veteran enough to do that. So now you're hoping for Josh Lowe to step up again, but you have some backups, if he struggles. But so left field becomes that kind of the swing gate where you're going to be mixing in, Chandler Simpson, you'll be mixing in Fraley, you'll be mixing in Ryan Velade. You know, that's kind of becomes your
outfield platoon,
depending on situations. And it could be attractive. I mean, honestly, you know, a couple of the guys have some power. Fraley definitely has power. The other couple of guys are more like slap hitters that have speed. So
that's an interesting lineup right there.
I love the Marte pickup if possible.
So you could do Simpson, Yandy, Junior, Marte, sorry, Aranda, Mullins, Josh Lowe, Real Muto. Or
that's my guy.
And then
that's the pickup.
Your shortstop.
Those two pickups, if they were to do that and then fill in a quality other starter to replace the Boz Pepio, it's got to be somebody quality. Zach Littell makes sense to me.
That would get our payroll probably up in the 120s.
Yeah,
just where it needs to be.
Where it needs to be
right this year. Yeah. I like it. I get excited.
Yeah,
going to the Trop to watch the Cubs Rays.
Right,
April 6th.
April 6th, buddy.
A brand new Trop.
Yeah,
we got new concessions. We got new floors. We got a new field. We got
a new excitement.
New urinals.
After
we got new roof.
You leave your home for think about it, man. You and I both, and many of those that are out there listening, have had friends.
Yes,
sadly, that had to leave their homes. And their homes had to be redone.
Yeah. For a whole year.
Yeah. I can think of one, Jose Bello. Well, I think maybe you've
we know Jose.
Jose is my homie, and Bridget Bello, the incredible chief editor and founder of the Tampa Bay Wealth magazine. They were out well over 10 months, almost a year, buddy. So when you come back to that home,
we're coming back home.
Yeah, it's exciting. So
hope it smells good.
That happened to the Rays, and I hope it smells good.
I don't want that. If it smells like an old motel, that's going to be a problem.
We don't want that.
The mothballs out.
We don't want that.
Get out.
Motel feel.
No.
No, we don't want to.
I'm excited. I can't believe I'm
for
saying
you to
this.
say that. By the way,
I can't wait to get back to the Trop.
Yeah. Say that one more time.
I can't wait to get back to the Trop.
In the camera, yes.
I can't wait to get back to the Trop.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot, folks.
Yeah. It'll get back. But I don't know. We'll see what it looks like. And have a good feel.
Listen, it's gonna be a blast. And if the roster keeps on, materializing,
churning a little bit. Yeah.
I think
it's going to be a whole new
There's a couple of big more moves. Listen, here's another big move that it's not in a rush right now. Definitely not in a rush. This move could happen during spring training. It could happen during the season, right? We kind of feel like, it'd be nice to happen before spring training, or at least during spring training. And that is one powerful third baseman getting extended for a big boy deal.
Yeah.
And that's Junior Caminero. Doesn't have to happen right now. I think it behooves them not to do it right now, because they're still trying to strategize these pieces that we just aforementioned, right? How do you navigate here? Are we adding Ketel Marte? Are we adding JT Miramuto? There's $24 million. There's this, what pitchers? Let that dust settle, and then you address, trying to extend this kid for 7-8 years.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely. Buy out all his arbitration years.
Buy out his arbitration
first
years
couple of years of free agency.
At least a 6 to 8 year deal.
Yeah.
Here's the controversy, though. Our boy Wander Franco.
Oh God,
is going to retry. And I was reading an article that there could be a monkey wrench.
Don't say it.
If he gets if he's exonerated, there could be a tricky court date. Listen, here's the thing. In the history of baseball, there's never been a player that if he gets exonerated from a court date, that can't come back to his contract. So it's going to be tricky. I mean, there could be another court date from his side towards MLB and towards the Rays. So does that hurt? And maybe is that one of the reasons that they're slow pacing the Junior Caminero signage? Now with this news coming out,
I can't believe. To your point, you've said this before. MLB is going to.
I think MLB will be all over
with the Trevor Bauer precedent. I don't think he's coming back.
If you get exonerated, and you don't.
Well, Trevor Bauer is never convicted, never tried on anything.
Never tried.
And he's still blacklisted or still can't get back to MLB.
But
that wasn't.
No, you're right. But I now I'm trying to remember and maybe look up Trevor's deal. But did his contract just completely go away, or was he under?
I think he was still suspended by MLB.
He was suspended, and he was still under a particular contract.
Yeah.
So I think the Dodgers still owed him a certain amount of money. I think they might have pleaded it out, so to speak.
Yeah.
And bought him out,
yeah.
I think. Because you're still under contract, bro. Like if you're let's say, okay, so if you're XYZ player and you have a tumultuous, a controversial thing happen, but you're not under any contract. Yes, I could see where they could blacklist you. There's been plenty of players blacklisted. You know what I mean? They just don't re-sign him.
Yeah.
So that's different than when you're under $180 million contract, of which I believe $168 million is still quote unquote owed to him.
Right. Yeah. So Bauer signed his 3-year contract in February of 2021 for $102 million. Led the league in strikeouts and innings pitched until July 2021. Then placed on administrative leave due to sexual assault allegations, suspended for 324 games in April, which I guess is kind of the remainder of his contract. Later reduced to 194 games, released by the Dodgers in 23. So it doesn't say whether it was paid out or what. I can't remember
if it was paid out.
Yeah.
The other thing that has happened in the article that I read is that Wander is well over 300 games that he's missed.
Yeah.
So his people are going to go, okay, so if there was some sort of quote unquote penalty, he's missed an exorbitant amount of games. So almost kind of like they would ask for, again, this is all hypothetical.
Yeah.
If
he's exonerated, which I think he is going to be exonerated.
If they're going back to trial, if I'm his people, he got a 2-year. There's 2 ways to look at this thing. He got a 2-year suspended sentence, or 2-year probation without jail time.
Right.
In his hand. Okay. And then there goes your contract because you were found guilty.
Right.
So you either know something that you can get completely out of that and be exonerated, or you've got brass ones.
Yeah.
To go in there and possibly lose.
Yeah.
The trial and actually have to serve what they were going after, which is 5 years.
Yeah, I don't think he would do that. I don't think he would risk that unless he knew he would. Yeah,
unless he, some insider.
So I mean, the Rays
insider trading.
So would Rays fans say, "Well, he's exonerated"? So what we think happened, we weren't there, we don't know, and they say it didn't happen. So
I don't believe that would be the case.
Do you think the Rays would welcome him back?
No, I don't think the Rays want him back. I would think, that they wouldn't want him back. It's too much.
Yeah.
Too much there.
Would they be able to trade the contract?
That's the next level.
Yeah.
Now, could you trade the contract? Could you trade the player and the contract? Could you work with the player and say, this was, ugly, so let's redo your contract? Maybe he could do something there, and then you trade that. Because nobody's going to take, his contract right now. And on top of that, when we were talking about that he's missed over 300 plus games, that means that he hasn't played Major League Baseball. Forget about minor league baseball, amateur baseball. He hasn't played baseball for over 2 years. So he was one of the top 10 players in the major leagues when he went down. I guarantee you, because the kid was a talent.
Yeah.
He was the best comparison is his idol from his same hometown that as a little boy he grew up idolizing and wanting to emulate. Unfortunately, he emulated him in a different way, not the way that Jose Ramirez acts. He is Jose Ramirez 2.0, and switch hitting, power, speed, exciting, acrobatic defense, Jose Ramirez.
Yeah.
And so can he become that again? I mean, granted, he's what, 24, 25
years old. Yeah.
So he could be a thorn in MLB, specifically the Rays backside, if he gets exonerated, because then you just, let's circle all the way back to Junior Caminero. So then does that kind of hurt them right now? And maybe they're telling Junior's camp, hey, we got to take care of some business. We got to figure our roster so we can win.
It's $160 million is a lot of money.
And first of all, we got to sign these guys. We want to put a roster around you and lift you up. You're going to be the face of this thing. You're going to be the MVP to lead us to the promised land. And oh, by the way, there's this other deal over there.
I can't believe MLB would allow him to come back, if especially with the precedent of Trevor Bauer. I just don't see
it's not about whether the MLB will allow him to come back.
They sue. Yeah, they could sue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But hey, put yourself, let's say you're the rep for Wander Franco.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And
he gets exonerated. Yeah, it didn't happen.
You're going straight to New York and going, guys, here's the
I got a signed contract.
I got a signed contract. And what are we doing here?
Does the MLBPA back him?
That's also was in the article, and the article was fantastic. And that was something said in the article. The person writing the article was alluding to, this is where the MLBPA needs to step in and say, we're not going to support this guy.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what
that's your union.
That's your union. I don't think, if he's exonerated, the union has to support this guy.
Yeah.
He's under contract.
That'll be interesting.
It'll be phenomenal.
All right, you want to take some questions, comments from the masses?
Let's thank some of our
Texas Roadhouse, Wesley Chapel.
Yeah.
Your favorite place to go eat when you're shopping at the malls up on 56?
Was just there and spending too much money with my daughter and
shopping, not at Texas Roadhouse.
Listen, that would have been less money because it's comfort food at a comfortable price. And
you could do a Wagyu 32 ounce and it'd be less money.
I could do so much. Could have taken her there. She just we want to go to the outlet mall, to the Nike.
Yes.
And this and that. So but Texas Roadhouse is phenomenal. I think we've said it so many times and we'll say it many more times. Just one of the greatest experience for kind of that great food for a great price and a great location. And a great service. Yeah. So Tyler, thank you so much.
I mean, sometimes, you want to go out to a fancy steakhouse and spend $500, whatever, big occasion. You just want a good steak.
You want a good.
You don't want to spend a ton of money.
When I
want a great atmosphere
the other day,
so easy.
I drove by, and we were shopping in that area there because on one side you have Wirecrest, on the other side you have the outlet malls, and I looked over, and it was completely packed, bro. I mean, it is the top.
When you always know a good restaurant.
It's the top Texas Roadhouse. I think there's 3 or 4 in the Tampa Bay
parking lot's
area.
Packed.
Ridiculous, overflowing. And I looked over and I go, well, I could call Tyler and he'll sneak us in because he's our boy. But I'm just going to let him enjoy what is a great experience over there.
Also, Kingmakers Tampa, which is the private club which we are coming to you from here at the Kingmakers Tampa, Midtown Tampa. If you're looking for a shared workspace and a cool place to hang out, it is kingmakerstampa.com. And, of course, Genesis of Tampa from the Murphy Auto Group.
Yes, sir.
Lord, what a December. We're giving away $500 each and every day in a shopping spree. So you can go over there, do that. And if you get your car appraised or take a test drive, they'll 10X your entries to get the shopping spree.
10X, baby.
And you
got
buy
a great
car,
chance to win.
First 3 payments, you don't have to make 90 days. The 4th payment, they'll make for you. So 120 days.
120 days
no
of
payments.
no payments, bro.
No payments for a new car.
For a new car.
Sign me the hell up. For
an incredible quality car for the price. And oh, by the way, again, just on top of coattailing on what you just said, the 3 C's of Murphy Auto Group are customer, community, and charity. And they are involved in all of them.
So cool.
They really are. In fact, I was just with the group just on what's today? It was Friday night. There was a big event
The toys event.
Raised just hundreds of thousands of dollars of toy giveaways. Murphy Auto Group donated $5,000 worth of toys, and it was a beautiful, beautiful event. So trying to raise toys for underprivileged kids in the area.
Some great local companies.
And also they're actually sending some of them over to Colombia, to some areas in the country of Colombia for a lot of kids that do not have what we have.
All right, let's get to some of the comments here. And thank you guys for jumping in. We really appreciate it. Lonnie Wilkins wants to know, did we ever learn why Randy and Yandy got into that
fight? Yeah. It was
Mamacita.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna leave it at that.
All right.
That was a good one. That was a good one. It was it carried over into the parking lot, I believe. And
I would venture to say, honestly, the Rays have not been the same team since that happened. Remember, they were in contention and they were hot at the end of that year. That was our last playoff year.
That's right.
Fight happened.
Yeah,
Yandy was out for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And we never really recovered from that. And then 2 years of missing the playoffs. We have not been the same.
Never thought about that.
That was the demarcation moment.
Yeah, because, I mean, there was so much synergy and so much connectivity and excitement.
Yeah.
And that was the year, we lost to Cleveland in the playoffs that year?
It didn't score a run.
Didn't score a run.
Like 2 weeks. Yeah.
And, so Randy's a polarizing player. You know what I mean? Because he's a tricky guy. Yandy's a little more. Yandy is Yandy. You know what I mean? And I think by the fact that who did they trade off of that? They traded Randy. So I think the Rays. One of the great things about the Rays, I must say, and this comes from, I think, all the way back to Joe Madden. And is carried over into the Eric Neander, Kevin Cash era, because you definitely can group them two together as an era now, of great general manager, great manager, is that they really, look at personalities in their clubhouse along with potential and talent. And I think that Yandy fits their personality very, very well. And Randy did not, and you've seen guys go boom, boom, come here and last for a little while. And no doubt, listen, 2020, that October that Randy had was historic, right? But there's things, and you can go to Wander and how he was kind of having problems before the news came out, right? And there was already kind of scuttle bucket of like, what's up with this kid? Randy, you could think of players like Tommy Pham. You could think of a handful of players that within a couple of years, I don't care how good they did, they were exited out. So it's interesting that Logan asked about that fight, because you're right, it was a precursor to some bad times, but I know that they kept the right guy. Yeah,
I would agree with that. Michael LaRue says the Rays in Seattle have done a lot of deals in the past, so why weren't they in the top catching prospect, Harry Ford? He was traded for only a bullpen setup guy. Yeah, they traded Jose Ferrer.
Yeah.
And another right-hander, Isaac Leon.
Don't know on that one, because Harry Ford is highly touted as
first-round pick in the 21 draft.
As a defensive catcher. Yeah. And you're absolutely right. This is
16 home runs, 74 RBIs, 283 for AAA Tacoma.
Yeah, and this again, maybe it's because of Teagan,
Yeah.
Maybe is they feel like they have their Harry Ford waiting in the wings, and they need to just kind of make do for a year or two. You can never have enough good catching, but that's the only thing that I could think of why, because Logan, he makes a good point. There have been a lot of trades over the years between Seattle and if you think about a couple of teams that they've been buddies with, it's been Seattle and the Dodgers.
I'm sure we probably would have asked for him once or twice.
Yeah.
In some of these deals. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Danny Sledge, a former intern, says, I'm hesitant to trade Pepio, more willing to send over Boz because he's still
I agree.
riding the potential. Yeah, I would. That's probably why that deal hasn't happened. I don't know if the Rays want to include Pepio in that deal.
It's as we said before. I mean,
you could keep Brandon Lau, who's going to be free agent next year, and have Pepio on the rotation this year. If you get Marte, it's a 6-year, $102 million, which I think he has 4 years left on that deal. So
he's in today's market, he's worth every penny.
Oh, absolutely.
And listen, guys are signing.
Son Kim's getting $20 million for 1 year.
Guys
from the
are
Braves.
signing for stupid money, right? Right. It doesn't seem to make sense. But then again, teams are worth stupid money, right?
Yeah.
Their teams are worth $1.7 billion.
They make stupid money.
So that makes stupid money. But if that's the case, then give me Ketel Marte. Then Brandon Lau is a steal at 11.5.
Hell yeah, he is.
Right.
Yeah, so 31 home runs.
So there's the dynamics of that. Now back to Pepio. It comes down to how confident are you that Drew Rasmussen, which could be an all-star ace,
and Shane,
right? How confident are you that these guys can give you 15 wins each?
Yep. No, I agree.
If they give you 15 wins, there's say goodbye to Boz and
you're
Pepio.
good.
You're good. And then you fill out with Boyle. You fill out
big time player Marte, which gives you a right-handed.
It gives you that right-handed pop against lefties.
And you think
at
32 to 36, remainder of his contract age, he doesn't decline that much.
No, because
he's in his prime.
I think he's in his prime, man. Yeah. If you look at him physically, he's in his prime. He is like cut.
What kind of dude is he? Do you know? Is he a leadership type guy?
I've always heard good things about him.
Could be a good influence on Latino players.
I think he could be a good influence on Latino players. He's well spoken.
A mentor for Junior.
Massive mentor for Junior.
That's all good.
And a guy that just like Brandon Lau. He's got tenure, man. They got 4 or 5 years.
But I don't
already.
see Brandon Lau as a leader in any way, and certainly not a mentor.
What
the
Brandon
Latino
Lau
players.
has become by proxy is he's the face of the Rays in a lot of ways. You can't get around it. He's been a part
of. Is he?
Of course, JP. By proxy, this guy's been around since in the last 5 years when they've made pushes. And obviously, the last couple they haven't made the playoffs. But
that's weird because you're 100% correct. But I don't feel that
in the range of like
I don't feel
Evan Longoria.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let's even give KK some credit. You know what I mean? That he was.
Oh, absolutely.
And, you know what I mean? He wasn't that offensive.
Brandon always is like when he's hitting. He's great. He can carry you, but it's like, but he's going to go away for months at a time. Yeah. We know this.
Yeah, and he's not a very outspoken person.
No,
so personality. We're talking. A lot of things
very
a lot of times comes into the personality of your clubhouse.
He's no Pete Fairbanks.
Yeah. That's right.
I would name 7 players before I would name Brandon Lau as kind of the face of the franchise. Maybe not 7.
I don't think you can find 7.
All right, Sugar Shane.
Okay,
but he's been
gone for 2 years
too. But I'd still put him above Brandon Lau.
I'll give you Sugar Shane. Junior, again, it's a different realm because of just a standout Yandy.
Yes. Pepio.
Yes.
I would have put Pete Fairbanks.
You would have put Pete Fairbanks.
Yeah. So all right, 5 now. I don't know.
I don't even know if you put him ahead of him. It's just by the fact that cumulatively, how many? Okay, all those players that you've mentioned, how many have been here and impactful since 2020?
Well, obviously Yandy, not Pepio, not Junior.
Thank you.
Yeah,
no, not Shane. 3, and 1 is gone. Fairbanks, Yandy, and Lau. That's the mainstay. My goodness, you went to the playoff. You went to the World Series in 20. You went to the playoffs in 21, 22, 23, and then you've kind of sucked the last 2 years. It's by proxy. You don't get to be the face of the franchise by just because you've been here a while. You got to earn it. You got to do something.
But he's done
stuff. He's been injured, but he's also been an all-star.
I know.
He's had dramatic games.
You guys feeling me out there? I mean, am I wrong on this? Do you think of Brandon Lau as the face of the franchise?
You're talking. See, there's two different ways to look at face of the franchise. There's the face of the franchise, which is kind of like
we rarely have it because we don't keep our guys that long.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yandy would be
right now would be the face of the franchise. Right. So, but then on the flip side, you have this guy that has been here since the quote unquote glory years of going to a World Series in 2020.
But that kind of speaks to,
of course.
Yeah.
Of course, it speaks to the lack of consistency of having that face.
Right.
The only other guy that you can think of is Kevin Kiermaier. But again, Kevin was not that all-star face of the thing. So you have different faces on a team.
True. All right. Douglas Batista says the Rays had some luck with the number 2 draft pick. In baseball, draft picks have a long lead time unless it's Skeens. But do you have any thoughts on who the Rays might target?
That's interesting.
Well, I mean, there's the shortstop from UCLA. Everybody's talking about Rock
Chowalski. Phenomenal, by the way. I saw some video on him this weekend, and or actually last week when I heard
after him. I don't know.
It drops. I mean, listen, I think the Rays are going to go, I feel, away from their modus operendi.
The high school shortstop?
The high school
Please,
shortstop.
I can't draft another high school shortstop.
Or high school players in general.
Yeah.
They've gone after high school shortstops or high school phenom.
I think they need to make an
athletes.
Impact collegiate pick here.
So I would go after some SEC top guy. Go after whoever the best player in the SEC is, whether it's a pitcher or a hitter.
I agree.
And ACC, SEC.
But we've seen guys come in.
And listen, the trend is that players are being pushed, quicker. So
imagine if you could get a number 2 pick, that would be Yusevich, and you could pencil him into the freaking rotation.
Yeah,
for the next 5 years at minimum salary. Holy shiz, man.
Yeah. So and at the end of a season, the last time they did that, believe it or not, if you think about
bless
it,
Brett Phillips.
You think about when the last time that they did that.
Never.
Nope.
Well, they had a guy that.
The last time that they did that, and it was in the SEC.
Oh.
And he ended up winning a Cy Young for the Tampa Bay Rays.
David Price?
David Price.
Yeah, because he's Vanderbilt
and shot up the ranks and pitched in the World Series in 2000.
Was that his first year?
That was his first year,
That's
Holmes.
Right.
It was a Trey Yusevich. Exactly.
Yeah.
They called him up, and he pitched in the freaking World Series.
So that worked out pretty good.
Hello.
Stop drafting high school players.
So go after the SEC is chocolate. The SEC is basically AAA these days.
Go get
the best player.
That's a cool. So I didn't know exactly how that. I guess Brett Phillips was involved in picking the
You can
lottery.
Harold Baines with Chicago White Sox. And obviously Chicago had the best chance of the hype. The great thing about it was that the Rays only had a 3% chance of getting the top pick. And I think even in the single digits of getting the number 2 pick.
Yeah.
And the luck of the draw and having Mr. Airplane, who I love incredibly, him and his family, Brett Phillips Jr., brought in number 2. I'm good with that.
Good job, Brett.
Yeah, because
good job, brother.
The number 2 pick next June could be an impact guy as soon as October, but definitely as soon as 2027.
And pitchers, typically, you would go pitcher because position player.
I would go the top pitcher in the SEC or the top pitcher in the ACC, preferably the SEC, because you got studs coming out of the SEC that are just dramatic. I mean, I just mentioned or maybe I haven't. We're getting into the Japanese.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Let's get to the Japanese because there's a guy pitching for the University of Georgia.
I got a lot of comments and questions here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's do these and then we'll get to the.
I got a University of Georgia Japanese 2-way star that could be
okay.
No, he won't. I don't think he's eligible this year. It'll be next year.
Min Win. I don't know how to pronounce that. Nguyen. Anyway, thank you, Min, for jumping in here. People just don't like Franco in the locker room. He says beyond any convictions, they just don't like him and lost his level this year in Japan. So coming back is not likely. For Franco, I would agree. Nobody likes him.
Yeah,
a new trial could
I think he gets exonerated. He ends up playing in Japan.
Yeah, I think you're right. Said a new trial could backfire on Wander. He could end up facing time. Well, he says the Dodgers would take him.
Wow.
Andrew Friedman. Mike says, I was at the game for Wander's last game. He hit a walk-off home run, bombed the right field, never played again. That's true, right? Is that his last game?
Was that his last game? I think it's true.
Wow.
If I remember.
How about a 30 for 30 on that?
Oh, yeah. No, that's on. You kidding me? Of course that's in the works.
Yeah.
It's not right now, but in a few years, that's, especially if his career goes completely kaput, that's a 30 for 30 made. That's a documentary that Netflix is, jonesing for.
Yeah.
I might have to produce that sucker.
Michael LaRue said an arbitrator later ruled in the Trevor Bauer case that the suspension should have only been 194 games and restored part of his lost pay.
He got part of his pay.
Dodgers reinstated him and immediately released him, still owing the remainder of his contract. Yeah, the Rays aren't doing that.
Right.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like the Rays don't have the money. They don't
have the availability to, the Dodgers. I'm sure probably have.
They just ate it.
It'd be a venture to look into how much money the Dodgers are paying people that aren't on their roster.
A lot.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That just they traded. I remember when they let go of Matt Kemp and they owed him like $40 million, and they let go of so yeah, that's nothing for them. The Yankees do that all the time. Boston's done that. The Rays can't just unleash $168 million. That's not happening.
Our boy Danny Sledge, who follows the draft, baseball draft, says two options in the draft: Justin LeBron, shortstop, Alabama.
Shortstop again. We love them. We love them shortstop.
Or Drew Burris, heard him, outfield, Georgia Tech. Derek Curiel, outfielder, Louisiana State. So
in there.
He says no. He says three position players.
Drew Burris is from where?
Georgia Tech outfielder. Is he a right-hander?
Yeah, if he was a right-hander and a thumper.
Power bat right away.
Yeah. Listen,
have we had a position player come right to the bigs?
What was the last position player for the Rays?
For anybody that it came to, he says he's right-handed, that came out of college and went.
And just thumped.
I think like Bob Horner came right out of Arizona State and went right to the Braves. That's a long time ago. Who else?
Actually, Barry might have come and stayed very short in the minor leagues.
Who, Barry Bonds?
Yeah, Barry Bonds.
He played college ball?
Yeah, he played at ASU.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, maybe Barry. I mean,
Barry,
nobody lately.
I bet you Barry didn't play 10 games. He might have played a little bit in the minor leagues, but he was up quick. That's probably one of the last ones. Before that, you got to go to like Dave Winfield came out of University of Minnesota, never played in the minor leagues.
How about that? Yeah, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, that was like 75.
All right, I'm going to look that up as you tell us about these Japanese players.
Yeah, so speaking of the SEC and speaking of Japanese players, the trend in the last few years has been that some of the young amateur guys are going, you know what? We're just going to forego the MPB draft. And guys out of high school like Renturo Sasaki, who was just a freshman this year at Stanford. By the way, Renturo Sasaki, his father was the high school baseball coach in Iwate Prefecture in Japan of the great Shohei Ohtani. His father is like this legendary high school baseball coach, like a Pop Cuesta, if you know the area here in Tampa, storied many decades high school coach over there. Sentaro is a burly 6 foot, Mo Vaughn looking-esque Japanese lefty pounder, set the record of most home runs a high school player ever. And he's at Stanford, and will get drafted not next year because he'll be a sophomore the year after. So he's a 27 June draft. Interestingly, just came out now, a kid out of Sendai, University of Sendai, Jen Sato, 20-year-old kid, is transferring or leaving Sendai University and going to pick a school of his choice. So FSU, UF, University of Miami, send somebody to Japan, or, because we need to have this kid pitching for one of our Florida schools. Hey, for that matter, USF. But he has opted to go join the college ranks. And, oh, by the way, since he'll be turning 21, he only needs to play 1 year of college, and he'll be in the 27 draft. So that's kind of been. Oh, and there's a kid in Georgia by the name of Ken Ishikawa, who's a two-way player, pitcher, right-handed hitter, and he's at UGA. So that's kind of happening right now, where the amateur players, for a plethora of reasons, one of them having to do with dinero, because the MPB is just not paying at the draft level nor at the major league level. Even if you're a young stud that gets there and starts kicking ass quickly, it's just dramatically. So, A, you make a lot more money if you make it to the bigs quick over here, and B, it's the biggest challenge in the world, right? So the MPB is no doubt number 2 as far as the strongest professional baseball league to MLB.
But from pay wise,
way
lower.
KBO, which is a Korean, pays even less. So the options for a kid like that is, hey, let's go and give it a try as an amateur in college ranks over here. So you're seeing high school kids and some college kids that have success. For example, this kid, Genzato, pitched in a Team USA, collegiate team, Japan, amateur contest last year. This past year, struck out, touted to be the number 1 pick, Rock Shawalski. Shawalski said, this kid's legit. 97 to 99, 92 mile an hour split. He says the ball rises nicely. He's like 6 foot, 180 pounds. So this kid's a little mini, Yamamoto in the making. So that's happening.
Okay.
The other Japanese news that's interesting is that the likes of Murakami haven't signed yet.
Yeah.
The power hitting third baseman, first baseman from the Yakult Swallows. These guys have till Monday. What is today? Today is the 16th.
Tuesday the 16th.
Yeah, Tuesday the 16th. So they have till next Monday to sign. So I think what's happening with Murakami not signing, Tetsuya Imai not signing, obviously Okamoto, the other third baseman, not signing, is that a lot of these signings, man, have to kind of figure out the bigger boys. Right. Now you have Alonso off the block.
Right.
You've got Dylan Cease off the block. So that kind of, figures to Imai. You've got this Kyle Tucker signed in the next few days. So teams are kind of jockeying, and then the ones that aren't in the Kyle Tucker probably are looking more so to Okamoto. The other interesting one, which it fits into the American League East and the Rays, is where is Bregman going?
Yeah.
Because that fits into Okamoto Murakami, believe it or not.
So this deadline may force the hand on some of these other guys.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Interesting. That's very interesting. So we could see a lot in the next week.
Because Boston's rumored now that they're talking heatedly to Okamoto to be their third baseman.
Mm-hmm.
Are they kind of putting that news out there only because
the AL East is going to be
the AL East is crazy. Rogers signs with Dylan Cease. Rogers signs with Toronto, which I really wanted Rogers over here. Imagine, I just want to say just one thing, and we'll talk about it later on and as the season starts. Imagine a game that Trey Savage starts, who has the highest angle of release point all the way up here, everybody, at 60 degrees, right? And then they sign Rogers, who has the lowest release point. So if Trey Savage throws 6 innings, 7 innings, and then you bring in a guy throwing 60 degrees below. Me as a hitter, I'd be like, oye, que es una locura, que pasa aquí? Eso no es fair. Toronto.
I don't speak that language, but I know what you're saying.
You Canadians are cheating. You're cheating.
Yeah,
you're cheating.
They do. Yeah, they do that.
What do they do? They do that.
Interesting. All right.
You looked
our
up
last
you
question.
Looked up something though.
Yes. Oh, by the way, I was right on. According to AI, Bob Horner was the last college position player to make an immediate impact at MLB after being drafted. Skipped the minors, 1978, and he won the National League Rookie of the Year that year.
How about that? Also played in Japan.
Nolan Shanwell from Florida Atlantic in 2023 played 21 games in the minors.
From FAU.
Yeah, from FAU, and then became a regular. Then you got to go back to Wyatt Langford from the Gators in 2024, played 44 games in the minors, and secured an opening day starting role for the Rangers the next year.
I remember.
And then
guy.
Ryan Zimmerman from Virginia.
Ryan Zimmerman
2005,
from University of Virginia.
Played 4 minor league games.
Buddies of none other than B.J. Upton and his brother. They're from the same group there of the Uptons.
Norfolk,
and David Wright.
John Olerud in 1989 from Washington State, played 6 games
and
in
got
the minor
called
leagues
up.
and then got called up. Yeah. So it doesn't happen.
That's an interesting little.
So as we talk about these 3 position players from the SEC, we don't. It's be very,
very hard.
Very hard. Pitchers more so.
Always, man, because pitchers, again, that's why Imai is an interesting character. That's why Kona Takahashi could be an interesting.
If you're throwing, because if you're throwing 98,
well, it's not just that. It's just that hitters take longer to adjust to a plethora of pitchers than pitchers do to a bunch of hitters. See, because you got to see a guy a bunch of times. Pitchers can trick you for a while, and because you don't know the release, you don't know their spin, you haven't seen them. So that's another reason that notoriously late season call-ups by playoff potential teams works. Most teams want to have that gun in their chamber that they call up from AAA in September before they can catch up, and then boom, they're in the postseason, and here's a David Price, here's a Trey Savage, and you're like, hey, give me a scouting report. I've never
seen anything like that before.
Right.
All right, last one question from Alejandro Noriega.
Dímelo, Alejandro.
He says, aside from age, would you bring in Max Scherzer or Verlander since they still can pitch? Scherzer in the World Series alone proved he can still pitch. What would you offer the future Hall of Famers?
Wow, those 2 guys are like, they're the Phillip Rivers of pitching.
How about that, by the way?
That was wild. He actually didn't do that bad.
No. He had that one play. It was a little embarrassing. It was like me falling down.
Yeah. He looked
Can't get up.
He didn't look like a 44-year-old. He looked like a 64-year-old.
Yeah.
But
thank you.
Yeah. Happy birthday. Anyway, dude.
Would you bring in Scherzer? I mean, you talk about a clubhouse presence that could be used here in Tampa Bay. Wow.
It depends. Again, that's not a priority right now. No team is like jonesing to figure out where they're going to fit in their 12 to 13 man pitching roster, right? In their 26-man roster, where either of those 2 guys fit, right? So you wait that out. And so my answer to that would be one of them could fit because it just depends how all the dominoes drop. If you get rid of, and I don't say get rid of, but you do a creative trade for Ketel Marte, and there goes Ryan, and there goes Shane. You got to fill in some quality innings. So that's the catch. But for right now, there's no rush in doing that type of signing.
I like Verlander.
I like them both.
You get a 2 for 1 there with Kate Upton sitting in the stands at the Trop.
Yeah, you've seen that a few times. I know I have.
Yeah. Bonus.
I might have glanced over there.
It's a bonus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Verlander, for pitching today.
Yeah. That's a little something you can look forward to.
A little something. Motivation.
More than ever, just a great time to be a Rays fan. Really looking forward to the upcoming season, and I think it's still totally going to re-energize this fan base. Cannot wait.
I think there's a lot of good things on the horizon, and what you have to, sitting here again as we're on the precipice of the full-on holiday season. Happy Hanukkah to everybody, by the way, because that's already started. It's you have to kind of take a step back in order to move forward. You know what I mean? So don't kind of think like, okay, they haven't done, why haven't they signed JT Realmuto yet? Why haven't they done this? Let the process play itself out. I really think that judiciously they're being smart and calculated. They're saying really good things. They're being available, which is another thing that think about it, that, they're out there. You're seeing them tomorrow. You're going to see Neander at this event. You've
Sports
heard
Club of Tampa Bay.
Ken Babby talk a lot, at the winter meetings. He was talking about positively about listen, we're really gunning for that 2029 if we can, which is a grandiose, endeavor.
Yeah.
So a lot of things have to click together properly in order to be digging the dirt very soon, sometime in 26 at the spot. So all of that, at the same time of trying to put together the right roster, a winning roster. The one thing about the Rays that I'll tell you that we've already seen, they only need an inch to go a mile a lot of times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kevin Cash and Neander, you give them some pieces. And then if I always say at the beginning of every year, health is wealth, like in football. We've seen what's happened with our beloved Bucks because of injuries.
Injuries will kill you.
It'll kill you. So if they stay healthy and they make a few more moves, I'm not, dare I say, that they can't be deep in the playoffs next year.
Yeah.
Though I will say that the AL East is becoming a
beast.
A beast, bro. Everybody, and the
Can't wait for realignment.
Oh, by the way, the Yankees haven't even really flapped their wings
yet. Not yet. And they will.
And there's stuff going on there.
They will. They will.
So it's exciting time. Great time to be a baseball fan. Great time to be a Rays fan, especially here in this beautiful area.
It's going to be awesome. All right. Big thanks to our sponsors once again. The Texas Roadhouse Chapel. You want a good steak? You go out shopping at the Wiregrass malls or the outlets. Go right over to Texas Roadhouse and get a great meal. Little ribeye, medium rare, some steamed broccoli, and a big fat loaded baked potato. I do love. I love my meat. I need some red meat. And KingmakersTampa.com. Check that out. Really cool private club. We're coming to you from the JP Peterson studio right here, the Kingmakers studio. And Murphy Auto Group, Genesis of Tampa. If you're thinking of getting a car, you got to go to Genesis right now. You can go 4 months without making a payment. So check it out at genesisoftampa.com. Great show, my friend.
And tell me that one last comment. I mean, that you said earlier. What are you looking forward to in April 6th? What is it again?
Looking forward to going back to the Trop. I said it. I can't believe it.
JP Peterson can't wait to go back to the Trop, ladies and gentlemen.
What is this world coming to?
Exactly. Stay tranquil, drop.
I love it.